questions, and we should probably enter in our first formula. So here I'll come up and let me delete the 23 that we got from the status bar. And here, once again, I want to add up 10 plus 8 plus 5. So the first thing I need to do to enter a formula is to enter the equal sign. This tells Excel that I'm about to enter in a formula. And here I could take 10, and I could add 8, and I could add 5. Here you could see my very basic formula. Now, if we look up above here in the formula bar, you'll see the formula here as well. To calculate this formula now, all I need to do is to press the Enter key. Congratulations! You just entered your first formula in Excel. To go back and edit this formula, here I can click into this cell, and here we see the formula up above. So I could modify the values up here. Or alternatively, I could also double click into this cell, and this will once again show me the formula, and then I can make modifications here. Now, one problem with just entering in the formula like this, let's say that now we made revenue of 11 on our chocolate chip cookie. Here, I'll press enter. You'll see that this did not update. And the reason why is we hard coded in these values. So as these values over here change, my formula doesn't change. So instead of hard coding these numbers or values in, instead I want to reference the different cells. So here, for example, instead of typing in 10, I want to use cell B2. So here, let me delete 10, and I could type in B, and then I'll enter 2. And here you see that the cell has now highlighted. And here also for the 8, instead of hard coding that, here I'm going to type in C2. And also here, I want to type in D2 for the sugar cookie revenue. And now I could press enter. And here you see I get the same results. But the nice thing now is, let's say the revenue for the chocolate chip cookie changes. Let's say it's now 11. You'll notice that the total automatically updates. When I click back into the total cell, here you'll see that Excel uses different colors. So here you'll see blue on B2, and this is also highlighted by blue. Here C2 is red, and here you see red, and here's purple, and here you see purple. So the colors here in the formula correspond to the cells that they're referring to. Now, of course, typing in a cell reference works, but it also requires quite a bit of effort. And instead, we could use our keyboard or our mouse to reference specific cells. Here, once again, in the total cell, I'll enter the equal sign. And instead of typing in B2, I could simply use the arrows on my keyboard to select that cell. Here, I'll type in the plus sign, and I could arrow over, and once again, I could arrow over, and then hit enter. So that's yet another way I can refer to specific cells. But even with the arrow keys, let's say I have a very large sheet, and it could take a while to get to the cell that you care about. Here, once again, I'll click on delete. Here, let me enter the equal sign. And instead of using my keyboard, I could also use my mouse. Here, I could click on B2. And I could press the plus sign, and here let me select C2, plus, and then D2. And here too I could press enter, and once again, we had revenue of 23. Now that we know what the revenue is, let's say I want to know what the cost is. Now, once again, I could type in the equal sign, and I could select this cell. I could add this, and then I could add this. So just like we did up above, but that takes a bit of effort. Instead, I can click into this cell where we already have a formula, and I can click on this fill handle in the bottom right hand corner. There you see that my cursor changes to a plus icon, and I can simply click on that and then drag it down. And here you'll see now that the formula has updated where it adds up all of my different costs. So the formula adjusted relatively. I moved the formula down by one row, so it also updated all of the references by one row. Over here, I can also use subtraction. So let's say I want to calculate the profit. To calculate the profit, that's the revenue minus the cost. Once again, I'll enter the equal sign. And here we had revenue of 10 for chocolate chip.